Hello again, and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover, from one that shows Machine Gun Kelly sample Eminem's latest skit before he went on to perform Rap Devil, that sparked some interesting reactions online. And this has also sparked a roasting session because he altered some of the lyrics on the song. And speaking on this alteration, we have a deep dive into this one, as rapper Lado has also been doing the same thing in recent interviews due to her beef with Nicki Minaj. And as you'd see, the whole thing is quite interesting how things change up depending on if there's a beef between rappers, and we'll expand on this in a bit. Today we also have more on Drake, as the most streamed rapper of all time on Spotify can't seem to catch a break these days when it comes to getting dragged. And this time we got to hear from rapper Source Walker. He pretty much broke down why Drake is a, quote, vulture in the Houston rap scene. And we just heard Kendrick do the same on Not Like Us when he said Drake runs to Atlanta to use the city. And boy, this sparked heated debates. And this was the snippet from The Breakfast Club that started the drama. Check it out.
It wouldn't be no Drake without Houston. So at the time, why did Drake not, it's still to this day, why did Drake not have no bunch of records with Houston artists? You didn't doing that with Atlanta. And he got, it's 7, 8, 9, 15 artists that you got songs with in Atlanta. Because why? Yeah. Not only does you know that the city of Atlanta was gonna look at you weird and feel a certain type of way by you not making those songs and making those moments with that city, but you knew that it was also beneficial for you as an artist to make music with these songs, because the leveling of stardom, it feeds each other, versus you feel that I'm just the A-side artist that's lifting up this musician. California, it's a long list of artists from the Bay all the way to LA that got songs with Drake. So how did Drake love Houston so much at that time and not have music with artists that you are uplifting from this community? Fuck me, I don't care. It's bigger than me. From then to now, Travis Scott is the only rapper that still got a song with Drake. Travis Scott, again, what I just said earlier, it makes sense. It's an equal trade. It's not necessarily like, oh, bro, I'm helping Houston and changing your life and changing your career. It's about fair exchange in business. If you are using the lineage and the culture of somebody's city or somebody's hometown and backyard, do something that helps not yourself and more of your notoriety for your own benefit with the ladies and the people in the city. Do something that actually makes the economy of that city and music and musicians bigger and greater.
And boy, this led to heated debates on social media so far, as on one end, there are those who believe Source Walker nailed it. Dude wanna be from Houston, but he only got songs with Travis. While on the other end, Drake fans have called them out for lying. Drake has shown support for Houston his entire career. It is essentially where his career started. Y'all saying he's stealing Houston culture, but Drake was nervous about this exact same thing, and y'all still accepted him. And for some reason, this Houston conversation about Drake reminds me of that Eminem versus Detroit rappers conversation that's been on. It is certainly not the same thing, but it sounds familiar. Since unlike Drake, Eminem cannot be accused of jumping on records with upcoming hot rappers and, quote, stealing their shine in the process. But it is a similar conversation overall. Rappers complaining that a bigger rapper isn't doing much for the city he is representing. And this blew up. It has gotta be tiring to be Drake. Everyone got a say in what you should do and mad about what you didn't do for them. Facepalm emoji. And Drake fans aren't going down without a fight this time. Drake collaborated with Travis, Beyonce, Pun B, Tizo. He sampled several records, meaning he had to pay and/or those artists got a cut from their record being sampled. He did Haw for several years. Travis' biggest records is with Drake. Pen hits for Beyonce too, come on bro. And all in all, this is where it is right now. They can't decide if he's a culture vulture or if he's supposed to be helping them. And speaking on the whole culture vulture thing, it looks like Post Malone's been going through it, as reports recently hit the web. Post Malone admits he drank alcohol to deal with being called a culture vulture.
Everyone here was so accepting and kind.
That's a testament to you.
I disagree. I think that's a testament to them.
Post Malone wasn't met with that kind of acceptance in the beginning. In 2015, when his hip-hop track, White Iverson, dropped on the internet and went viral, he was called a culture vulture, a one-hit wonder.
How did that feel to you?
It sucked.
Yeah.
I was a kid.
1920. How did you deal with it?
Drink a lot.
Yeah. Did you take it personally? Because
Absolutely. It's hard not to.
But he kept writing hit songs.
It's not for the people who hate you. It's for the people who love you and for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A decade later, he has more than 40 billion streams on Spotify.
A revelation that is still getting him dragged on social media, as that sparked viral responses like LOL he did it, Miley did it, MGK did it. It is not about being versatile. Their whole entire identity switched up. He's one of the most egregious cases, in my opinion. Shrugs emoji, his music still fire. But let's call a spade a spade. And boy, speaking on MGK being included in a list of vultures and artists that switched up, MGK is never beating the allegations, as you'd see in a bit. But before we get to that, this snippet from a recent MGK performance in Cleveland hit the web a few hours ago, where he performed Rap Devil with a twist and some alterations. Check it out.
MGK, your mother. He did. She's your mother too, so you really need some help, man. Hey, you know what? She's both about mothers. Hey, Cleveland! What the we say? Hey, somebody grab some clippers. It's weird. Talk from a rapper paying niggas for security here. I take my mask off. Yeah, hey, right. That's noise. Man, I've been hating this shit. It doesn't matter about something I said in 2012. Took you 6 years in a surprise house. This is what it did. I don't even get it. You're not the greatest rapper alive. Never. Never you stay inside. Rock God is the rap devil. Come a bare face with a black shovel like the Armageddon. When the smoke settle, his body next to this instrumental. I'm sad.
Oh my God. Come on, MGK, say something.
And before we explore the roasting session that this has started, we got more that shows why MGK is never beating the Culture Vulture allegations. As after he fell out with Eminem, who he even called the GOAT on his diss track towards Eminem, you wouldn't believe who MGK's GOAT is today.
GOAT rapper.
Wayne is just his everything, you know. He got the star power from like the way he dressed to the tattoos, the grills, punchlines. Like, it's hard to beat, man. He got the whole
Jeffrey.
Oh, dude,
Slime.
Yeah, Slime for
Free
sure.
Thugger.
Does anyone know who this is?
Might be unrecognizable.
For sure. That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT rapper I ever watched in the studio. I've never seen anybody work like him.
Yeah, all around GOAT.
Yeah, all around GOAT. Yeah, Slime and Wayne.
The Vulture is now in Young Thug and Wayne's nuts, now that he took a break from making pop-punk music. And back to that performance, he's been getting cooked accordingly. MGK tries too hard to be cool, making him very uncool. And now some are asking, has Eminem ever performed Kill Shot? Rap Devil is MGK's magnum opus, his peak. The biggest he'll ever get. Nobody cares about him. Kill Shot's just another bullet in the magazine for M, which got this response. I believe he's been asked by the crowd during some live performances to do it, if I recall. There's a clip of him saying it doesn't disrespect the dead in response to being asked to. And more on this note, my faith told me not to disrespect the dead, so I'm not gonna say anything. And speaking on rappers switching up after a beef, Lado recently did the same in an interview, which should be expected to be fair, but that doesn't stop it from being hilarious nonetheless. When you know a battle has forced a rapper to alter their story, and in Lado's case, that's quite similar to MGK, as this happened on Complex's Go Talk recently.
GOAT female rapper, Big Mama.
You. I'm not even gonna lie, I really have to say you. Like,
no, I'm
not even being biased. Because like
I was gonna give a real answer.
I listen to you the most. You be on my top.
I mean, I am the GOAT though. I'm my GOAT, and that's all that matters. But like the GOAT is Lil Kim for sure. Fashion icon, timeless music, timeless looks, like gonna forever be a staple in not only rap but like female rap. And she the GOAT for real because she is a queen for real. Like off camera, she a queen. Like I love that. Wait. I love her. And she big mama too. Like, it's just a big mama thing.
Now, similar to MGK, rap fans were quick to pull up her receipts that showed a very different Lado from earlier this decade. Check it out.
I love Nicki. I love Nicki. Like, I was in 5th grade when Nicki came out, heavy impact on the industry. And I cut my hair in a bang. I had the pink highlights. I stood in line for Pink Friday, like crazy about Nicki. So I feel like she definitely, you could credit her for like inspiration to me. Yeah. Because like I'm from the South, so like I grew up on Gucci, Tip, Outkast, Jeezy. So I already got that in me naturally. But like listening to Nicki and just loving Nicki so much, that's where it's like, okay, she's Southern, but she got a little lyrical edge to her, like that flow switch up or whatever. So like I credit Nicki for that because I'm crazy about Nicki.
But don't forget, like Nicki did spend a lot of time in the South with Gucci Mane. So I can see why you have that influence. That would be super dope. You gotta DM her.
I know. So she's liked a couple of my pictures on Instagram before. She reposted one of my videos. Like I did like an Instagram acapella, like rap over her beat. And she had commented on it. She reposted it. Like she know what's up. We just waiting for that timing.
And this blew up on Twitter. Bringing up Lil' Kim as your GOAT only after you fall out with Nicki Minaj isn't a compliment to Kim in any way. It is hilarious how in this case you could swap this for MGK and it would also apply. But to be honest, I get it. If I got terrorized and bodied to the point that I had to switch up genres, I'd be salty too, especially if I had a daughter to feed. But overall, what are your thoughts on these topics, from MGK switching up the lyrics on Rap Devil years after he switched genres due to Killshot, to Drake being accused of being a vulture, same with Post Malone? Tell us below. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.